Hello everybody, GrayStillPlays, and today we'll be reviewing Halcyon 6 Starbase Commander, the newest pixel art RPG, space simulator, exploration, squad management, research tree, turn-based combat, multiple choices, story arcing tree, randomized game. In Halcyon 6, you take the role of a commander, appropriately enough in control of a piece of mostly unknown and in some cases highly superstitious alien space station called Halcyon 6. Halcyon 6 wasn't just going for a genre, it was going for all the genres. And the question becomes whether or not it can keep gamers entertained or confuse the sweet internet Jesus out of them. There are a huge amount of options, menus, choices, resource gathering, and of course combat in Halcyon 6, and in this review we'll be going over what we've currently been given as an early access beta. As usual, we'll be looking at 3 categories in particular: gameplay, sound, and look. No time for BS, let's get this interstellar rave party started. Gameplay. Halcyon 6 is a game that has a clear and defined attention to detail when it comes to the various game mechanics, and believe me, there are a lot of game mechanics. It's one thing when a game tries to do too many things at once, but when a game succeeds at doing most or even all of those things, that is the real triumph. All of the things I mentioned, Halcyon 6 does do very well. Combat is filled with a measure of strategy, including a vulnerability exploitation combo style system. Exploration is fun, but somewhat limited in scope, allowing you to visit planets and moons in an attempt to find additional aid, enemies, or resources. Your team is built exclusively by you, choosing from 3 random prospects whenever an open slot appears, thanks to you increasing your fleet to 3 officers, or from one of them meeting an untimely death. You must utilize the resources you find to improve your technology, build additional ships, or upgrade the Halcyon 6 itself. And the game itself gives you the opportunity to make choices, like allying with pirates for air quotes mutual gain, or canceling out a 2,666-year loan by participating in a trial by combat. Pick the trial by combat. Halcyon's only weakness is that the development team is still clearly measuring how to balance the progression of the game and the strength of the enemies that the player has to deal with. Since there's no difficulty button, several players have quickly found that the game can go from tutorial mode to die bitch die mode rather quickly. Despite a few minor setbacks, the gameplay is not only solid, but fun and varied, giving Halcyon a 9 out of 10. Sound. The sound in Halcyon 6 is superb when it exists, which luckily is most of the time. I only found a few small instances where ships or weapons didn't have the accompanying sound effects, but the rest of the time the retro sci-fi music and various blips and blasts of your offensive and defensive powers were a joy to listen to. Halcyon 6 remains classy and professional while not letting go of that 1990s arcade style soundtrack. There are no voiceovers, but I wouldn't have expected any in a game like Halcyon 6. Instead, it's all about satisfying effects for the player's choices. Right behind gameplay, the sound in Halcyon 6 scores a 9 out of 10. Look, Halcyon 6 is a pixel art style game, which means you're going to get your Chinese buffet's worth of pixels. If you go into the game understanding that this is the art style, you won't be disappointed. The character designs are quite well done, and in some cases, outright fantastic. Even the effects can appear to jump off the screen in some instances. Showing massive damage definitely has a knack for working with this style of artwork. Most importantly, while the game is pixel art, you can actually see and understand what is happening. An alien looks like an alien. A spaceship looks like a spaceship, and more so, each race's spaceships are different, which is a damn fine example to set, rather than cutting and pasting the same few models over and over again. You'll notice that in most scenes, such as combat scenes, the background is not only varied, but is also animated, which scores big points for Halcyon 6. Even if it's just a few chunks of space rock floating to and fro, it adds so much compared to a simple static background that remains completely stagnant. Most importantly, the text and numbers are clear and easy to read, which has been a pet peeve of mine in some pixel art style games. One of the few immediate suggestions I would have is to make the health bars much more contrasted, so that the overall amount of life the various combatants have is easier to see. Outside of this, Halcyon 6 follows up with its 3rd straight 9 out of 10, giving it a total average score of 9 out of 10. If you enjoy turn-based RPGs with a highly unused space and sci-fi flavor, and also don't mind some added added dimensions in the resource gathering, technology researching, and team building aspects, then Halcyon 6 is a definite must-buy. Even as an early access game, Halcyon 6 sets the bar extremely high by holding itself up to some impressive standards, and I'm highly looking forward to watching it grow. What are your thoughts on Halcyon 6? I'm interested in hearing other people's opinions on the game, so feel free to leave a comment below, and as always, stay foxy and much love.